Hello, friends. Welcome back to part 2 of your reading lesson for today. You are going to be reading a new text with Miss Spears called The Great Storm of Galveston. You will be learning about what hurricane winds can do. She will ask you to get out handout 5A, and you do not have that yet because we have not picked up Module 3 workbooks yet. But that is okay. You can just get out your Wit and Wisdom journal and write down what you learn from the pictures and the words in the text in your journal. All right? So you don't need to worry about it. You just need to take some notes so that you can be able to look at what you wrote down and compare it to what Miss Spears wrote or will go over with you at the end of the lesson. Okay? All right, I hope you enjoyed this new text, and I will see you soon for our next lesson.
Welcome back, friends. You are going to read another informational text to add to your knowledge about hurricane winds. And you're going to follow the same routine you've used before to gather key details from a new text about a storm in Texas 100 years ago. Now, before we read the new text, let's take a moment to remind ourselves of our research question. And that question is, what does the wind do during a hurricane? One more time. What does the wind do during a hurricane? This time, however, you will write down the information yourself as you listen to the text. And you will do that by using handout 5A. It looks like what you see on your screen. And don't worry if you don't have the handout, you can just use your journal. As I read the new text, you should write information that you learned from the words and the illustrations in the right-hand column. Are you ready? Here we go. Okay, friends, this book is a true story about a hurricane that hit Galveston, Texas more than 100 years ago. And I am going to read some excerpts from the book to add to your research. I want to remind you to listen for information that will help you answer the research question. And that question is, what does the wind do during a hurricane? I want you to listen carefully. Are you ready? Here we go. The Great Storm of Galveston. Back in 1900, Galveston was buzzing. It was a hot spot with sand and sun. It was also in the path of many storms, but many of those storms were small. People felt that they were safe. Then came the Great Storm. Galveston was never the same. It all started over the ocean. Hot air rose. A hurricane was born. The big storm was swelling, bringing rain and wind, and it was twisting a path to Texas. But no one there had a hint. Back then, we could not track hurricanes. We did not have planes to spot them from afar. By the time people could see a storm, there was no time to run. Okay, I want you to think about what I just read. And think about the research question. What does the wind do during a hurricane? Take a moment and record some details on your handout or in your journal. Okay, let's read some more. But remember, you're thinking about not just the words, but also the illustrations. Here we go. When it hit, it was too late. The water rose up like a wall. Wind tore off roof tiles. Waves swept away homes. It was one of the worst storms the United States has had. All right, take a moment now and again record details on your handouts or in your journal. All right, friends, this is the last page we'll look at. Take a look at the illustration. The outer part of the hurricane, where all the clouds are swirling around, is called the wall, and the space in the middle is called the eye. Take another moment, record your details on your handouts or in your journal. Okay, take a look at your handout. You'll see a column that I pointed to earlier. It says Source 3. And this is where I would like for you to share with your learning partners something you learned about what the wind does during a hurricane from reading the text, The Great Storm of Galveston. Did you share? I'm sure you did. All right, if you haven't done so already, please be sure to write some information about what hurricane winds can do in the Source 3 column on handout 5A. If you want to listen to me read the text again, you can go back in the video. Remember, you can write down information you learned from both the words and the illustration. All right, pause the video now to write information about what hurricane winds can do. All right, friends, just like you, I've added information from the Great Storm of Galveston to my chart. Remember, on my left-hand side, I have information that I've learned from the text, Feel the Wind, and on the right-hand side, I have the information from the Great Storm of Galveston. Now what we are going to do is we are going to find similar information on both sides of the chart. Listen as I read the information from Feel the Wind. Blows more than 100 miles per hour, knocks down trees, can knock things over. Just as we've done before, I'd like you to use a thumbs up when you hear information from the Great Storm of Galveston that is similar to the evidence that we captured from the text Feel the Wind. I'll say it again. When you hear information that's similar, I want you to put a thumbs up. Okay, here we go. Caused a lot of damage. I'm going to put my thumb up because that is similar to knocks down trees, because when trees fall, they can cause a lot of damage. Tore off roof tiles, swept away homes. I put my thumb up there as well, because when wind is blowing that strong, it can tear off roof tiles and sweep away homes. The eye and wall are parts of a hurricane. I am not putting my thumb up there because that information is not similar to any evidence I captured from the text Feel the Wind. Let's analyze our chart. You will see the lines connected when things are similar, and you'll see an underline when it's different. Do you see it? All right, awesome first graders. Nice job thinking about what the illustrations and words reveal to us. Nice job also looking at another source and making observations on things that are similar and different. Next time, we will continue working with this text and preparing for our focusing question and task. But until then, be kind and do something great because you are capable of greatness.